Hello there, this is Priyanshi. Hope you all are doing great. So, welcome back to this series of tutorials on spin in quantum mechanics. And in this video, we'll be seeing what should be the form of spin operators or what should be the form of matrices corresponding to the spin operators for an electron. And we'll be introducing the very exotic Pauli matrices in this video. So, in this video, I'll be explaining things in great detail and I'll try my best not to skip any minor but important details. So, by this, I hope that you'll be able to grasp the concepts grasp the concepts and to gain a better intuition in an easier manner. So, that's why the video could be a bit longer. So, that apart, let's just start tackling the problem of finding spin matrices for an electron. So, in the last video, we saw that spin is a form of angular momentum, and we saw that the spin operators obeys these very specific commutation relations. So spin operators obeys these very specific commutation relations. So there are three spin operators that we deal with: Sx, Sy, and Sz, and they obey this very specific commutation relations, namely Sx Sy commutator equals iota h cross Sz operator and all the cyclic permutations. So by the cyclic permutations, you can find out what is the commutator of Sy and Sz. That would be iota h cross Sx, and the others follow in the similar way. So the spin operators obey these very specific commutation relations, and these commutations relations are same as that for orbital angular momentum operators, and this is actually a fact that these commutation relations are the general condition that any form of angular momentum operator should obey. So if you are claiming that three operators, say Ax, Ay, Az, etc., if they effect rotation or they are a form of angular momentum, then this is the relation that they should obey. So spin operators obey these, and then we saw that there is another operator which you could write as Sx squared plus Sy squared plus Sz squared, and we saw that this is the magnitude square of the total spin angular momentum, and we saw that this explicitly commutes with the Sz operator. And same is the case with Sy or Sx. It also commutes with Sx or Sy, but we are interested in eigenvalue problem of Sz because Sx and Sy do not commute. The Sx, Sy and Sz, they do not mutually commute. So we cannot look at the eigenvectors of all three of these together. So we do it one by one. And we chose to do it for Sz. So we are going to now look at the simultaneous eigenvectors of Sz and S square because these commute. Their commutator is 0. So our eigenvectors and more importantly simultaneous eigenvectors of S squared and Sz were of the form S ms. So this is not an operator, this is small s, and this corresponds to the eigenvalue of S squared, whereas this labels the eigenvalue of Sz. So this is what we established in the last video. And then we also saw in the last video itself how these S squared operators and Sz operator, they act on this eigenvector. So that specific action would give us the eigenvalues, the corresponding eigenvalues for S squared and Sz. These are just labels. Okay, and the eigenvalues would be derived from these numbers only. So we saw last time that S squared acting on these eigenvectors gave me the eigenvalue S. This is not the operator, S into S plus 1. So S is a number. Here and in the case of spin operators, we saw that S could take any value which could be either half integer or integers. So S could take any integer or half integer values. So the S that I write here, this could take any integer or half integer value, but this is not exactly the eigenvalue of S squared operator. The eigenvalue of S squared operator is S into S plus 1. A bit more complicated, not just S, but completely determined from this number S. And once you know what is the value of S for your particle, the action of Sz operator on these simultaneous eigenvectors could be given as ms h bar. So ms exactly is not the eigenvalue of Sz. Ms multiplied by h bar is. So this is the eigenvalue for Sz operator. And once you know what the value of S is, you can figure out what is the Z component. Sz eigenvalue could be. So that lies between minus S to plus S in the steps of 1. So you start from minus S, keep increasing the eigenvalues by 1 and reach till plus S. So the maximum value of the Z component Sz, eigenvalue of Sz could be S, and the minimum value is minus S. So that is why we label states by S. This is not exactly the eigenvalue of S square, but all these deductions, all these expressions are pretty simpler, so it's more convenient to talk in terms of S rather in terms of this eigenvalue. So that is why we label it by S and not this eigenvalue exactly. So this is what we have done, and there is one more thing that we deduced last time, that you can easily see that whatever is the given value of S, for a given spin, total spin angular momentum, these are total 2s plus 1. So these are total 2s plus 1 numbers. So these are there. So that means for a given S, there are total 2s plus 1 possible eigenvalues of Sz. So this many possible eigenvalues for the Sz operator. So this is what we had established last time. This time what we are trying to see is, we also know that the spin operators are actually, the form of spin operators are matrices. These are actually n by n matrices. So in this video what we are going to see is, we are going to actually find the explicit form of spin operator by considering the example of spin. So now we are going to concretize things a bit more. So we are first going to figure out what this n actually is and what are the explicit entries. So if you are talking about electron, is it a 2 by 2 matrix or a 15 by 15 matrix or a 90 by 90 matrix? We are going to figure it out. So for electron we are going to do this, and exactly the same procedure could be applied to other spin particles, other quantum particles possessing spin. So let's just start with that. So now we are going to see what are the spin operators, spin matrices for an electron. So to figure out the spin matrices for an electron, so let's start with the experimental fact. I have been mentioning over and again that from experiments we know that, from the experimental results we know that for an electron, if you measure the spin of the electron in any direction, be it z direction or x direction or any other direction making some angle, so if you measure the spin of an electron in any direction, the eigenvalues that you can measure are plus h cross by 2 and minus h cross by 2. So these are the two eigenvalues that you could measure from an electron, eigenvalues of spin angular momentum that you could measure in any direction that you are interested in. So these are the two eigenvalues, and this is one of the reasons why I said, when in the beginning I said, so this is one of the reasons when in the beginning when I said that I am just choosing Sz to begin with, but things are equivalent for Sx and Sy. This is because, so this is one of the reasons, because no matter in which direction you choose to measure a spin, you are always going to get plus minus h cross by 2. So to begin with, I just choose that I start with the z direction. So these are the eigenvalues. So I start with the z direction. So this experimental observation tells me that these are the Sz eigenvalues of an electron, because I am choosing z direction. So these two are Sz eigenvalues of an electron. So in our notation, the Sz eigenvalue is ms h bar. So this is how I denote my Sz eigenvalue over here. So in our notation, this is my Sz eigenvalue notation. So from here, from the experimental data, this is from experiments. So from experimental data, now I get to know that for an electron, ms h cross is these two values, plus h cross by 2 or minus h cross by 2. Or you could also say that ms can take two values, which is plus half and minus half. So this is what I deduce from experiment, and this result is specific to electrons. So this is one deduction in which I used the experiment. This whole thing doesn't follow from theory. Now, because I have two possible eigenvalues, two possibilities for the eigenvalues of Sz here, and I saw earlier that the total number of eigenvalues for Sz could be 2s plus 1. So I just wrote it here that the total number of eigenvalues which are possible for ms is 2s plus 1. So in this case, 2s plus 1 would be equal to 2, because there are two states possible in the Hilbert space. So this would straight away give you that s would be equal to half. And this s is the eigenvalue of the s square. This s is what determines the eigenvalue of the s squared operator. So by using the experiments, the results from the experiment, I have extracted two very useful pieces of information. I figured out what S is, and from S I figured out what MS is. From that gives me what S, or you could go the other way around, so it doesn't matter. And you can also see that because MS maximum value could be equal to plus S only, so this is plus half, and ms it doesn't go beyond plus half. It's not 3 by 2, 5 by 2 or any other value, and ms minimum value could be minus s, so this is minus half, and this s value is half. And you could also see, so this is the sz eigenvalue. You could also see what could be s squared eigenvalue. So the s squared eigenvalue, which is equal to s into s plus 1 h bar squared. So in this case, for the case of electron, because s is half, so I would get half into half plus 1 h bar squared. So this would give me 3 by 4 h bar squared. So the s squared eigenvalue, the total angular momentum squared eigenvalue, is 3 by 4 h bar squared. It is not half. So the s squared value here is 3 by 4 h bar squared, or if you are interested, then the s operator, which is the total angular momentum, spin angular momentum operator, for that the eigenvalue is root 3 by 2 h bar, but this small s is half. So this small s is not exactly the eigenvalue of the total spin angular momentum operator, but it could be derived from that. But it's more convenient to talk in terms of this small s instead of this whole eigenvalue, root 3 by 2 h bar. So that is why when I say that electron is a spin half particle, so that is on the basis of this small s, not the eigenvalue of the total spin angular momentum operator. So this is just one point that sometimes we miss, so I just mentioned. And it's an important point to keep in mind. So the aim of this video is to find out the form of the matrices of spin operator. So one thing is that because I have just two eigenvalues in the Hilbert space, so how would my eigenstates look like in my abstract representation? So the eigenstates would look like, because the eigenstates have the form S, ms, so for the case of electrons, my eigenstate would be S is always half for electron. That comes from the experimental data. So S for electron is never changed. That is figured out from how many eigenvalues you can have for Sz. So the eigenstates are half. Ms, one of the values for ms is plus half, and the other eigenstate is half. The S value is always the same, and the other eigenvalue for ms is minus half. So there are two eigenstates in the Hilbert space, and this is in the s squared and sz basis. So there are two eigenstates. That means, so two eigenstates means my Hilbert space is two-dimensional. So Hilbert space is two-dimensional, and the matrices that act on a Hilbert space of two dimensions are 2 by 2 matrices. So what this means is, so this is a very important deduction. So the spin operators that would act on the Hilbert space of an electron possessing spin, so the matrices, the dimension of these matrices would be 2 by 2. So the spin operator, so this is very important for an electron, are 2 by 2 matrices. So we have figured out successfully the dimension of the matrices that represent the spin operators for an electron. So this all is specific for electron. Now we start, so this is one piece of information. Now let's just start figuring out what are the explicit forms of those 2 by 2 matrices. Keeping in mind that these two matrices here, these two eigenstates are eigenstates of Hermitian operators, S square and Sz operator, and these are Hermitian. So these eigenstates should be orthonormal. So they are normalized to 1 and they are mutually orthogonal. So what I mean to say is that half-half would be equal to 1. Sorry, this is not how I write it. So this half-half state, inner product with half-half state, should be equal to 1. So this state is normalized to unity. And same is the case for half minus half. So I could say that that is also normalized to unity, but these two states are mutually orthogonal. So if I take the inner product of half plus half and half minus half, that should be equal to 0 because these are eigenstates of Hermitian operators. So these are orthonormal. So keeping all these facts in mind, now let's just start figuring out the form of the explicit form of the 2 by 2 spin matrices for an electron. Explicit form of spin matrices, and by spin matrices I mean Sx, Sy and Sz, and we can also find the explicit form of spin matrices for S squared for an electron. Everything that I am doing here is specific for electrons but can be generalized straightforwardly to any other spin. So electron is spin half, it can be generalized for any other spin, say spin 3 half, spin 3, etc. So let's just start with the explicit form for spin matrices for Sz operator. So we start with, so starting with Sz matrices. So matrices are always written in some basis. So I want to write Sz matrices in S-Ms basis. So this is the basis of S squared and Sz basis. And this SMS for the electron, so this is going to be a 2 by 2 matrix. So there could be entries, there will be entries here, these 4 entries, and these would be written in the basis for electron SMS, and for electrons that basis reads half plus half, half minus half. So these are the column indices, and for rows these would be used as a bra. So half plus half and half minus half. So this is the basis in which we are going to write these matrices. So this is important. Always keep in mind that these are in S squared and Sz basis. So for example, I do a computation for you for any one of these elements. So for example, I consider this element and I compute for you what should be the entry here. So let's just start. So I want this element, and this element is the matrix element for Sz operator, for which the column entry is half plus half. So that goes as a ket here, and the row index is half plus half. So the row index goes as a bra here. So this is the matrix element corresponding to this entry here. So let's just start calculating it, and it's very easy. Sz acting on SMS, you just have to keep in mind that Sz acting on SMS is nothing but Ms H bar S Ms. So in this case, this is the value of Ms. So Sz acting on that would give me, so the bra state remains as it is. This acting on SMS, half minus half, would give me minus half by into h bar, that is ms h bar, and then this state again. So by using this formula, you can figure out this relation. And now because this is a constant, you can take this thing out of everything here, and I'm left with half plus half and half minus half. And now you can see straight away that because it is an inner product of half half and half minus half, and these are half half and half minus half are eigenstates of Hermitian operators S square and Sz. So the inner product should give you 0. So this inner product of half plus half and minus half, this inner product should give me 0. So in all, I am going to get minus half h bar multiplied by 0, and this whole thing gives me 0. So the entry here should be 0. So we have figured out what should be the explicit number that should enter in this place for an Sz matrix corresponding to an electron, and in this specific basis of S and S. So in the similar way, we can do computations for all other elements. So just to give you some practice, I will do a computation for one of the non-zero elements. So for example, this element, I'll start doing the computation for this element, this first element. So if I want to compute this matrix element, so this matrix element is a matrix element of Sz operator, and the column entry goes as a ket here, which is half and plus half, and the row entry goes as a bra here, so it goes here as half and plus half. And finding out this matrix element would give me, would tell me what is the entry here, what should be the number here. So now again I can use, this is the ms here, and again I can use this Sz acting on a ket SMS would give me the eigenvalue half half, and this acting on this state would give me ms h bar, and ms here is plus half multiplied by h bar and the state again. And because this is a constant, I can pull it out, and I'm left with half half. And as I just mentioned, because these are eigenstates of Hermitian operators S square and Sz, so these are normalized to unity. So these states, the inner product with itself, this should give me the number 1. And this multiplied by half h cross would give me, so this would give me the answer h cross by 2. So I have figured out now that this entry here is h cross by 2. So it's very simple. You just need to know what is the action of Sz operator in this space on these kets, and then you need to know how these kets combine, what is the overlap between these kets. If there are different kets, they are orthogonal, but the inner product with itself will give you 1. So this is how you can figure out all the entries here. So these all entries, now I can just tell you, and you can do the computations for yourself. It's an easy computation. So this entry is 0, and this is h bar by negative of h bar by, and this is pretty much what we expected, because the kets here, the bases here in which I am writing these matrices it is the basis SMS, and these are the eigenstates of S square and Sz. So I am writing Sz matrix in the basis of Sz only. So I am expecting a diagonal matrix in which the diagonal entries are eigenvalues itself. So the diagonal entries that I get here is plus h cross by 2 and minus h cross by 2, and this is actually the eigenvalues that I started off with. So this was an expected behavior, that in the Sz basis, the Sz matrix is diagonal and the diagonal entries are eigenvalues itself. So this is the form of the Sz matrix for an electron. So I think this video is getting a bit too long, so we'll continue from here on in the next video, the part 2 of this video. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, you can write to me in the comment section. I will be happy to address those. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button. And thanks for watching. See you in the next video.